There's a meme floating around on Facebook right now that seems to be fairly popular. It's a picture of a lion. Actually, it's two lions, two totally separate lions, two lions that, well, they may not even know each other, but one of them has everything in life that you could expect to get for free. Free shelter, free food, free medical care. Everything is free. Everything is free. But the other lion in the meme has freedom. What's the difference? Seriously, what's the difference? I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. The difference between the lion who has everything he could possibly want, shelter and medical care and food and someone to care for this lion on a daily basis, someone to take care of every need. That lion, well, he lives in the zoo. He's got everything he could possibly want, doesn't have to fight any other predators for his meal, has all the security, he's protected from wild things like humans and little kids with sticks, but he lives in a zoo. Then another way to say that, he is caged. He's not free to go anywhere. He can't leave if he wants to. He has to stay in the same place all the time. I mean, maybe he has an acre or two to run around in, but he's still in a zoo. The other lion, on the other hand, well, that lion has like no guarantees at all. That lion may wake up tomorrow and find hyenas have taken over his sleeping quarters. He may wake up and find that fresh kill from yesterday, that beautiful, luscious zebra that he plans to snack on all day or feed with his family, the entire pride gathered around, has already been snatched by hyenas or a jaguar in the middle of the night. And now he has to go back and do that all over again. He may find that while trying to get his own pet wildebeest for breakfast, all the other wildebeest say, no, you're not eating this one. And that's life in the jungle, or the Saharan desert, or wherever this lion lives. See, the difference is one has to take full responsibility for the outcome of his life. Every decision, every choice, every option, every opportunity are all on the table. But that's costly. It could cost you your life. It could cost you the opportunity to feed your family. Yep, happens every day. And in America, that's what has been historically known as the American dream, believe it or not. The American dream was based on the premise that we all have the freedom to decide, do I want to risk my income to start my own company? Do I want to risk ridicule for sharing my own opinion? Do I want to risk relationships on digging in and doing the hard work all by myself, even if all of the people around me don't feel like it was a great idea? Do I want to take that risk? Do I want to attack the wildebeest, chase down the zebra, fight off the hyenas? Do I want to do that, or I want to just get a job and play it safe, where the company pays for my health care and the company pays for everything that I have? Or let me go one step further. Do I want to give all of those responsibilities, the health care, the food, the shelter, do I want to give all of those to the government so that I don't have to do all those things like fighting the wildebeest and the hyenas? See, we found ourselves in a place in today's society where we've been convinced, or many people have been convinced, that all the free stuff makes life easier. All the free stuff means that you get the freedom to do the things that you want to. Let me tell you a little bit about all the free stuff. This is a true story because I lived it myself. I remember being told you can't use your social media in here. And I thought, well, that's a little silly. I mean, it's not like I'm discussing how to harm people or doing illegal things. I'm trying to send a message to my wife. Well, you can't do that in here. Well, where do I need to go? The other room? No, you have to go outside. In fact, there's only one block in this entire city where you can do that. So take your device, iPad, laptop, telephone, whatever you want to connect to the internet. You've got to stop at this little hut and you've got to buy an ID card. Now that ID card is going to be registered with the government as a direct connection between the things that you say and do while you're online and the IMEI number on the digital device that you access the internet with. Oh, and by the way, this city block where you'll be connecting to the internet, it's outside, it's exposed to the elements, it's exposed to everybody else in town because that rule applies to everyone in town. If they want to access any form of social media, email, etc., the only way to have the internet is to have it downtown. Now, you can have it in your house, but it's monitored in your house at a very high rate, cost-wise, just like it's monitored in the square. This opportunity to have free internet, well, it wasn't really free, but the medical care is free. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff that comes along free when you live in a society like that, but there's also a lot of expense when you live in a society where everything is free. Now, this place that I was is called Cuba. And in Cuba, they will monitor what you post on your Facebook page. And it doesn't matter if you're a Cuban citizen or an American citizen. That's not relevant. If you're standing in that downtown square and your IMEI number, your device is registered with that call card, that specific number for your internet access, you have a certain amount of time and a certain amount of data. And you've got people all around you, and some of those are in uniform, and some of those are cameras. And they're all watching what you do and what you say. Kind of like the lion in the zoo. Everybody's watching everything you do. You may have some free stuff. You may have free housing in some cases and free food in some cases, and well, when there's food available. And you may have some free health care for whatever quality that health care might be. But leaders know that freedom isn't free. You don't get free stuff with no risk. And when you get free stuff, the price you pay for free stuff is almost always freedom. If you want to have a job where you're guaranteed to get a paycheck regardless of how long you show up at work, well, you're probably going to spend a lot more time at work than you would think. People hear the horror stories of entrepreneurs working 50, 60, 70 hours a week. We do. But here's the beauty. I get to choose when and where I do that 50 hours a week, 70 hours a week, 90 hours a week. Then there are some weeks that as an entrepreneur, as a self-employed individual, I will get up on Monday morning and be right here in front of these cameras. And there are some days that I'll say, I've had a long weekend. This last weekend, like day before yesterday, well, actually yesterday, we were doing our thing with the AV company as a DJ and an MC at a wedding. That was event number 6 in the same week. Well, my week started at about 1 o'clock on Thursday. 2 events on Thursday, events on Friday, 2 events on Saturday, and an event on Sunday. And that filled out the week pretty heavy. Okay. But today, when I'm done with this video, I have the freedom, not a boss telling me what time to show up at work, not a guarantee of a paycheck either, not a guarantee of health care either. That's my responsibility. Not a guarantee that anybody's going to put food in my refrigerator or pay my bills. But I have the freedom to decide if I want to go take a nap for 2 hours. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. See, the lions are a great illustration of what many young people have began to believe in our world today. They've been fed what I believe is a lie. They've been fed the lie that if you need stuff, you can get free stuff and the government will give it to you. Well, let me give you 2 realities. Number one, I've already said a couple of times, freedom is not free. If you want freedom, you're going to pay a price for it. You may have to fight the hyenas. If you want freedom, you're going to pay a price for it. You might have to hunt down your own wildebeest. If you want freedom, you're going to have to take care of yourself, or at least make sure that your family is taking care of you, looking out for those who might want to slash your throat in the middle of the night. Freedom isn't free. It's going to cost you. You're going to have some risk. You're going to have some expense. There's a price to pay for freedom. Freedom isn't free because we know millions of people have shed blood for this thing we call the American dream. so that you have the right and the opportunity to go out there and do your own thing. But also remember that anything that you expect for free, someone had to pay for. Kids think, well, school is free, so if I go or I don't go, who cares, right? No, your parents pay for that. It's called taxes. Yep. And if your parents aren't paying taxes on property because they rent, well, the person they're renting from is paying those taxes and they're charging it back to your parents on the rent. So you may think that you're getting off scot-free. The answer is no, you're not. Nothing in your life will come to you absolutely free. Whether you paid the price or someone you care about paid the price, someone paid the price for you to have what you have. Nothing in life is absolute. Well, there's one thing in life that's absolutely free. That's a different conversation. There's only one thing. And if you're curious what that one thing is in life that's absolutely free, you did not pay the price for it. You cannot pay the price for it, but someone did. It's absolutely free to you. You can get it. I'll tell you how if you ask me. But nothing else in this life besides that one thing is absolutely free. Nothing. And the more free stuff you get, the more freedom you give up. The more liberty you'll exchange for that free stuff. That's just the way it works, folks. It's like gravity. And as much as you may not like this statement, this is an absolute truth. Test me and find out on your own. Gravity does not care about your religious beliefs. Nope. Gravity doesn't care about your sexual orientation or your gender identity, who you prefer to be in love with. Gravity doesn't care. It doesn't care about your politics or who you voted for or where you got your degree or if you have one at all. Gravity doesn't care. It's a universal law. It applies the same to everyone. I'm also going to tell you, freedom isn't free is also a universal law, and it applies to everyone. It doesn't care about your national background. It doesn't care about your family of origin. It doesn't care about what country you came from. Freedom isn't free. If you want freedom, somebody's going to have to pay the price for it. And if you want more free stuff, somebody's going to have to pay for that too. They may pay in finances. They may pay in freedom. But freedom isn't free, and leaders know that. And leaders operate their lives in a way to know everything that I give you has a cost. And everything that I ask for has a cost, because freedom isn't free. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast from Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.